Flashback, The Quest for Identity. Produced and developed by French video game company Delphine Software. It's a cinematic platformer, and I love cinematic platformers. They lend themselves to being very atmospheric and challenging, demanding precision timing and providing tense moments that pull you into the world. Usually deaths include a cutscene, you'll have a greater sense of your character's mortality, and you're on the edge of your seat when things get frantic. Flashback was originally released in 1992 for the Amiga. The Genesis version came a year later, which is the only version I own. It's one of my favorites. I'll be going through the whole game, but remember, playing through yourself is the best way to experience it. Give it a try. The game takes place in the future. The hero is a guy from Earth named Conrad, seen here in the opening cutscene being chased by gunmen. They board the Millennium Falcon and shoot him down. After a 2-second sweep with a spotlight, they decide their work is done and leave. Personally, I would have landed and made sure he was dead, but thankfully these guys are lazy. Conrad then wakes up on a strange alien world. He has amnesia and he needs to fight to survive. Luckily, he's very athletic. Conrad can run, jump, climb ledges, and roll around. By pressing C, you enter gun mode and walk around like a suave spy dude. The gun has infinite ammo, so feel free to shoot all you want. The artwork is very detailed and well done. The animation for Conrad is rotoscoped and fluid. It's all well crafted. It implies a realistic tone. After some exploration, Conrad finds a holocube, which dropped out of his pants as he woke up. On it is a message from himself. He left the message before he got amnesia, and he tells himself to find his old friend Ian in New Washington. Not sure where that is, so time to survey the area. Mutants roam the jungle, wearing purple hoods and carrying big guns. Very intimidating. There are also these little tasing robots who remain still until they sense Conrad approach. There are rocks, which can be thrown to distract enemies or placed on sensors to activate doors or elevators. Energy generators are scattered here and there. Use them to recharge the shield item, which is basically Conrad's life bar. Music is used sparingly, yet effectively. All cutscenes have music, and some spots trigger music cues which add to the game's ambience, whether it be an action scene or just a creepy reveal. The elevators are used by holding A and pressing up and down. One nitpick I have is sometimes I never notice an elevator. This is embarrassing, but as a kid I was stuck in this jungle level for like a year. I felt like a moron running around for hours and days trying to figure out what to do or where to go. Then one day, by complete accident, I happened to press A and up on this exact spot, and realized it was an elevator. Looking at it now, it's so obvious. I don't know what my problem was. Some areas have electrified floors that vaporize Conrad if he missteps. There are also these radiation ducts or gas vents. Safety was apparently not a high priority when all this stuff was built. Interesting thing that happens to me sometimes when I enter a new screen. There's an enemy there who instantly shoots me in the face. That's a little rude. This does happen occasionally, so enter each screen armed and ready. Conrad happens upon a guy who says he was roughed up by some mutants. He asks Conrad to find his teleporter, which is all the way on the other side of the map. Help him out, and he'll thank Conrad and teleport to safety. Unfortunately for him, he leaves behind his ID, so Conrad goes ahead and steals it. So now Flashback, The Quest for Identity, is over. Congratulations. The end. No, I'm just kidding. The ID can open a certain door, which leads right to this guy, who's lounging next to some massive pit. He tells Conrad New Washington is at the bottom, and he'll sell him an anti-gravity belt for only 500 credits. Quite an elaborate scheme you got brewing here, buddy, but hey, what other option is there? After gathering credits from the jungle floor, Conrad gives the guy 500 and receives an anti-gravity belt. Next step, jump down that hole and pray that this guy didn't just rip you off. My fear is reaching the bottom and seeing 100 other bodies this guy swindled just before I go splat. Luckily, he's trustworthy and Conrad lands safely. Ah, New Washington. As beautiful as I imagined. Oh, and how convenient. Here's our good friend Ian, but he's being attacked by some cops. Save his life and he helps Conrad regain his lost memory. Okay, so here's the backstory. Conrad was on Earth and he had the glasses from They Live, and learns that there are aliens mixed in with the population. The aliens didn't want Conrad going around spreading the word, so they made many attempts to get rid of him. Luckily, Conrad copy and pasted his memories and sent it to his friend Ian who lives on Titan. The Genesis manual included a comic from Marvel. Pretty cool. It gives a few other details, like how Conrad is an agent for the Galactic FBI. Some of the aliens are posing as politicians. Basically, they're trying to take over the world. Finally, they captured Conrad, and instead of killing him, brought him to the moon of Titan and erased his memory. Conrad escapes, and that's where the game starts. Anyway, Conrad now decides he needs to set things right and get back to Earth, but ticket prices are supposedly astronomical. So Ian tells him the best way is to enter and win a game show called Death Tower. Oh, baby. Ian luckily knows a couple of shifty guys who live behind a bar who can give you entry forms, but it's going to cost $1,500. And thus begins one of my favorite parts of the game. Conrad gets a work permit at City Hall, and then reports to the job center. The big reason I still play this game is to redo this next section over and over again. Here I am, Conrad B. Hart, agent of the Galaxia Bureau of Investigation, on the moon of Titan orbiting Saturn, doing mercenary work so that I can be a contestant on a game show called Death Tower. I mean, it just sounds so cool. The job center has computer terminals set up. Read the job description, insert your work papers to accept, and then head out to complete it. The city's split into 4 sections: Asia, America, Africa, and Europa. It takes time traveling section to section on the subway, but it feels real. First job, deliver a parcel. Sounds easy enough. Pick it up, take the subway, take the elevators, and then out of nowhere, a cop is trying to kill you. Conrad takes him down and finishes the job. Every cop in this game is corrupt, even the ones idly standing around. Sooner or later, they will try to kill you. They use guns, but luckily Ian gave Conrad a force field item, which blocks bullets for about 2 seconds when activated. Second job, escort a VIP through a restricted area to help him reach a laboratory. Here's a new enemy, these floating balls. They try to tase you like the little robots, but while ducking, they can't do a thing. Once completed, the VIP thanks you and you teleport back to the job center. Gee, I hope it doesn't need help getting home. The third job has Conrad hunting down cyborgs who've escaped some facility. This is another new enemy type. They have guns, and they can run at high speeds. I like fighting these guys the best. They can pistol whip you at close range, but so can Conrad. In fact, he does a full-on haymaker. The fourth job really freaked me out the first time. Some reactor that's powering the city is apparently about to redline, and Conrad's the man they need to fix it. Jeez, look at this. It's timed and everything. What happens if I fail? The city explodes? Shouldn't they have a specialist who can handle this? Not just a random guy looking for modest work? Good thing I was here to accept the job at this exact time. No one else seems to be concerned. Conrad makes it through all these death traps as fast as he can, jumping and running, and once at the reactor, inserts a terminal card. And it's fixed. That's it? Shouldn't he get some sort of medal? How many lives were just saved? These guys drinking at the bar in America Town have no idea how close they came to blowing up. Here's the last job. Mutants have taken over an area of the city, so go there and lay waste to them all. The fear is that these mutants may attempt a hostile takeover. No time to investigate that, just kill them all, Conrad. That'll teach them to be mutated and gathered in one place. With all the work complete, Conrad purchases his false papers, and then heads over to the Death Tower Game Show Enrollment Center and submits the forms. Instantly, Conrad is on the show. And I mean instantly, just bam, you're there. He must have been the only moron who ever willingly volunteered to be a contestant. Must have been desperate. Did I even need these papers? Death Tower consists of 8 floors, each one filled with jumping puzzles and a good amount of enemies. The cyborgs are back, and more of the floating robot balls. Usually killing all the enemies allows access to the next floor, though sometimes Conrad has to activate a switch. It really isn't too challenging, especially for a show called Death Tower, but it is pretty fun. There are landmines, laser cannons, and these falling grenades. Tricking the cyborgs to walk into them is easy. They aren't too smart. They even try to shoot through walls. The last floor is simply Conrad versus a cyborg with extra HP. After he's dead, you win. So see you around, Titan. On to Earth. Now, I'm not sure what Conrad's plan is at this point. He arrives on Earth, and pretty much immediately the entire city's police forces want him dead. He fights for a few screens, and then he reaches a platform and hails a cab. The next area is the Paradise nightclub. I guess Conrad wants to dance or maybe get a drink? I wish the game would give a small explanation for all the hostility, because even inside the nightclub, Conrad is getting attacked. I'm assuming the aliens know I'm back on Earth, so they told the police to kill me. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe the aliens saw Conrad on the hit game show Death Tower, where the host proceeded to state his name, show his face, and tell everyone he's headed to Earth, all on live TV. Yeah, that may have blown whatever cover he had. Well, whoops. The nightclub has a good amount of puzzle solving. A lot of keys need to be picked up and secret passages revealed. I like the look and feel of it all. It's mysterious. 2 words come to mind. Trial and error. It's a staple of any cinematic platformer, and I haven't mentioned this before, but you see these save consoles? Use them. Anytime you advance in any way, run back and save. There's a cool sequence where Conrad has to outrun a moving death trap. After which he lands on a vent, and beneath he sees some aliens having a meeting. Apparently, the aliens are shape-shifting salamanders, and they're gonna teleport millions of their warrior brothers to planet Earth. After hearing this, the screws in the vent unscrew themselves, and Conrad falls from the ceiling. And once again, Conrad is captured. And the aliens must have learned their lesson from last time, because they take his gun, and here come two cyborgs to kill him. However, they stupidly left his gun on the floor in the next screen. So problem solved. Here we find one of the coolest items in the game, a teleporter. You have a telecontrol and a telereceiver. Activating the control will teleport Conrad to the receiver, which can be placed on the ground or thrown to an unreachable spot. At the end of this stage, we finally get to fight some aliens. They can turn into blobs and climb the walls and shoot lasers from their hands. They are the most annoying enemies in the game, and from here on, they're everywhere. So Conrad finds a large teleportation machine. And amazingly, it sends him right to the alien homeworld. The alien homeworld is called Morphs. The art design is really creepy. There are fleshy lumps and mucousy looking things. It's great. The stage requires smart use of the teleporter, and the aliens are going to get the best of you a lot. This was impossible for me as a kid, and almost impossible now. This part really stumped me. I tried everything, but couldn't find a way to open this door. Nothing worked. So, in frustration, I shot at it. And it worked. I don't know if that's how it's done, if it's a glitch, and I honestly don't remember any other doors you can open by shooting. There were some parts where Conrad shoots through glass, but never a door. Some guy named Philip has been trapped on the planet. He's mortally wounded by an alien, and as he dies, he hands Conrad an atomic charge. Later on, Conrad finds his diary and learns how to destroy the planet. Turns out Philip was forced to work for the aliens, or something like that. Essentially, Conrad needs to reach the planet core, but first he has to destroy these brains. Look at this jerk. Some kind of alien shrimp. Every time I climb the ledge, he kicks me in the face and knocks me off. Normally when this happens, it's a guy with a gun, and you can use the force field to defend yourself and get in a shot. But this bastard won't let me up. Alright, let's just get to the core. Here's one brain. It tries to defend itself by shooting back. Destroying it allows access to an elevator that plunges you deeper into the planet. Here Conrad has to take out the final brain, shooting it from each side about 5 times. All the while aliens are spawning desperately trying to protect it. Conrad is a stone-cold killer. His mission is preemptive genocide. This is the final stretch of the game. As Conrad makes his way, suddenly a voice in his head tells him to put the atomic charge on a platform in front of him. Okay. I can only assume he's been slowly going insane all this time, having to deal with so much violence and trauma the past few hours. Amnesia, murder, corrupt government forces, constant combat. It's getting to him. He's losing it. So put down that charge, hit the switch, and run. It's an exciting ending. The planet is falling apart, there are sirens and the screams of thousands of alien beings. He only has a short amount of time to get out of there. Now we come to the final challenge, at least for me. I'm here standing around. I'm guessing I'm supposed to be here because I wasn't able to enter here before, but I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'll wait out the timer? Oh, I guess not. The planet exploded, but I died. So what do I do? Oh, I see. Of course, the last and final elevator. I totally missed it. Conrad boards the spaceship and escapes, and you beat the game. He makes a diary entry on the ship's computer, and then puts himself in suspended animation, in the hopes that he'll be found one day. The credits roll, and in the background are all the cutscenes. Now that was an adventure. The ending is a bit of a cliffhanger, but at least we saved the Earth. You might also notice it borrows a lot of story elements from movies like Blade Runner, Alien, They Live, and The Running Man. When I first played the game I was young. It sorta went over my head, but I knew it was something special. I'm glad it was part of my early gaming years. There was a sequel made called Fade to Black in 1995. I remember playing it at a friend's house on PlayStation years ago, and I didn't even know it had anything to do with Flashback. It was a third-person shooter. Delphine planned for another sequel for 2003, Flashback Legends, but unfortunately the company went bankrupt in 2002. It would have been a 2D side-scroller once again. I heard there's a prototype ROM floating around somewhere, but that wouldn't do the final product justice, I'm sure. Well, that's Flashback. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.